Hey there! My name is Elena, and I am the owner and creator of my self-love coaching business, Voloptia Coaching. I'm a certified health, life, and transformation coach. From my expertise knowledge in transformation wellness, and from my own difficult experiences as an insecure girl in high school, I've developed life-changing life coaching programs to help women find true self-love and acceptance through authentic, personalized, and holistic guided coaching practices. On this channel, I share my knowledge and expertise insights to guide you to elevating your relationship with yourself. This week, I'm talking about the main coping patterns I consistently see in women suffering from a lack of self-love. These coping methods may seem subtle or maybe even obvious to you. Everyone has different levels of self-awareness and different levels of willingness to honestly reflect whether any of these methods are circumstantial or connected to a bigger picture. As I talk about these coping methods, I encourage you to journal your reflections on each and then ask yourself, how often do I engage in this pattern? Am I aware of why I'm engaging in this activity? Am I trying to hide or avoid any negative or uncomfortable emotions? These are just a few questions to help you get curious about yourself and become aware of which aspects of your life are asking for you to show up more self-love. I'm going to be talking about the 3 most common coping patterns, starting with the first one, engaging in mind-altering substances like drinking or drugs. I'll start by sharing a vulnerable story from when I was an insecure girl in high school. After my cheating boyfriend broke up with me, I was an emotional wreck. I didn't have a strong sense of self, and I was extremely uncomfortable with being alone. I would smoke weed before school, skip class to go smoke weed. I even brought wine to school a few times to drink in class. I figured if I could numb myself from the pain of being single and not knowing or caring about myself, then I would survive. I did this for about 1.5 years, numbing myself as often as I could, avoiding the pain that I felt. I see this happen with a lot of women who try to convince themselves that they are just partying to have a good time. I know because that's what I used to say too. But I recognize that there's a difference between partying to have a good time and partying to numb myself out. Those were different types of partying that I could say. Now when I party, I'm connected to, why am I drinking? Is it for a carefree Sunday fun day at the beach? Or maybe a few glasses of wine watching TV with my husband? Or even while cooking at home, like a nice home-cooked meal. Beforehand, drinking and smoking were things I'd do on my own because I couldn't bear to actually feel. Being aware of the reason why you were drinking or smoking and how you were feeling before and after were the big differences for me and tend to be for most women who lean into this coping method a lot. Most often when women embark on their journey to self-love, they naturally stray away from the mind-numbing substances because facing their feelings shows their body love and appreciation, while numbing themselves out says our feelings aren't safe, so we have to run away from them. The second most common coping method I see is serial dating. Dating others can mean a lot of different things, but to me, serial dating means actively seeking relationships with others solely for the purpose of not wanting or being able to be alone. This is usually due to a lack of comfort with oneself. For me, I sought out meaningless romantic relationships with people after my ex and I broke up to feel like I had somebody, someone who I could engage with, someone who I could attach myself to and think about besides myself. I was so uncomfortable with the idea of being alone and belonging to no one. This usually led me to relationships that only further damaged my relationship with myself and my feelings of self-worth, as those relationships were band-aids and not supporting my best self. Those relationships thrived on the insecure girl who numbed herself out with drugs and alcohol. When I started embarking on a committed and dedicated relationship with myself, my self-love journey, I took an oath of celibacy. I promised myself I wouldn't engage in another romantic relationship until I felt self-assured with myself. in a relationship with myself. A key foundational teaching of Philotia is that we cannot truly love others until we truly love ourselves. I took that oath very seriously, and I didn't break it until I met my now husband. 18 months of celibacy and devotion to my self-love journey resulted in me being able to manifest a successful, happy, healthy relationship with another person. A relationship that had I not taken the time to push through my discomfort and being alone and falling in love with myself, would have most likely failed. I talk with a lot of single women who are extremely focused on being in a relationship and wonder why they keep attracting relationships that result in heartbreak and disappointment. And the answer is usually that the woman herself doesn't have a strong, loving, committed relationship with herself. If you don't have a strong, loving, committed, and joyful relationship with yourself, how can you expect another person to have that with you? Finally, the last and most common coping pattern I see women suffer from is people pleasing. This is a more subtle form of coping, but it's extremely dangerous, especially for women. As women, we have a lot on our plate and a lot of expectations from society and others as to what makes us valuable. It's usually being attractive, in shape, successful in career, quiet in the aspect that, you're not rocking the boat or causing friction. You bear the responsibilities of birthing life, being the heart of the family, cleaning, cooking, having sex well, but not famed for it. The list can go on truthfully forever. And with that many expectations, how are we supposed to be able to do it all? We can't. This makes a lot of women question their worth, especially if society and others are pointing out constantly how they fail to have it all or do it all. So what do women do? We people please. We figured if we can't do it all, we'll do it to the best of our ability, even if that ability means trampling over our relationship with ourselves to appease another person. If we can just make them think that we're 1% closer to that ideal image that society wants us to be, then we won't feel so useless. It doesn't matter if the woman is single, in a relationship, has a family. People-pleasing comes in all different shapes and sizes. People-pleasing asks you to sacrifice your authenticity for the sake of another's happiness. People-pleasing is dangerous because you become blurred. Your wants and needs become muffled by another's. What's worse is that after so many years of working hard to appease everyone else, you don't even know what you truly want or desire anymore. You become lost and uncertain of who you are. When women are lost and uncertain of who they are, they walk around with a flimsy sense of self-worth. A flimsy sense of self-worth is the most destructive layer to recover from. It's like the foundation of a house. Once it's cracked, the entire foundation needs to be fixed prior to building up the rest of the house. I invite you to take some time reflecting on these 3 levels of self-engagement and see how each shows up in your life. Afterward, I encourage you to talk with someone you trust, someone who knows you well and truly wants the best for you. Ask them if your reflections are on point or if there's anything that you may have a blind spot to. The more self-aware you can become with yourself, the better you will be at elevating your relationship with yourself. I hope you enjoyed today's self-love conversation. If you did, be sure to click the subscribe button to my channel to never miss out on any of my upcoming videos and to have direct access to all of my other self-love conversations. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Philotia Coaching or online at philotiacoaching.com for more free self-love content. That's it for today. Until next time, remember, you are worthy of love. XOXO.